This video will show parents how they can use StudentSpokes to help their children learn in a fun and independent way. Since children under 18 cannot join StudentSpokes, you as their parent will need to create their special student account, and then manage it. Additionally, you as the parent will need to enter the appropriate settings for your child, as well as the prize they will earn when they succeed. For example, with Math for Prizes, you will need to enter the criteria for either addition, subtraction, multiplication or division, depending on what your child needs to learn. For this video, I have previously joined StudentSpokes, which is free, and I've already signed into StudentSpokes.com. After signing in, I have clicked on my name and selected my member dashboard, which is where I will now begin. If you are not familiar with those steps, please watch the overview for StudentSpokes using the link found in the description of this video. From your member dashboard, click StudentSpokes Admin. You are now at the StudentSpokes admin screen where you will have either one or two buttons. All members of StudentSpokes will have the first button where you can add and manage the accounts of your children. However, only verified members will have the second button that enables you to create your own applications for subjects that do not yet exist. Incidentally, there are lots of additional perks for verified members, and the fee to be verified is only $3 per month. There is a button on your member dashboard to become verified. I am going to click the My Students button so I can manage the accounts for my children. I have two children, Susie and Billy, and I have already created an account for Susie, and I will create an account for Billy in a minute. Notice that my name is also listed as a student, with a link to my applications, so I will be able to learn subjects as well. Susie is learning her multiplication tables, so I will now set up Math for Prizes for her. To see the applications available to Susie, I will click the applications link. Here is a list of prize applications that are currently available to Susie. This list will include national applications available to everyone, as well as the applications that have been created by the local Board of Education or the schools in my city or my county. Math for Prizes is the one I want for Susie, so I will click the settings link. This is the screen you will use to enter the settings that will be in place for when your child tries to win their prize. Depending on the application, the screen will have different parameters. For example, for Math for Prizes, you can customize the application for specific number ranges, numbers of problems, the time your child will have to beat, and the prize they will receive when they work hard enough to beat the timer. Additionally, with Math, you have two sets of number ranges. Since there are two numbers used in multiplication, you need to set the number ranges for both of them. The first number could be a random number between 8 and 12, and the second number could be a random number between 0 and 12. That would focus Susie's effort on only the higher numbers as she learns her 12 times tables. You pick what your child needs to learn and focus on. Finally, in Go for the Prize mode, the student will see the number of problems and the number of minutes left. All they have to do is reduce the problems to 0 before their time runs out, and they win their prize. You will notice that the student can either use their keyboard to type their answer and hit return, or if they are on a smartphone without a keyboard, they can use their finger to click the numbers and the submit button. I will now return to my student's screen to add Billy. I will click on the Add New Student button. I only need to enter a username and a password. There is no need to enter an email address, since StudentSpokes does not communicate directly with students. The student will also be assigned to the same city and county that you selected in StudentSpokes. That concludes our discussion about managing your students. I will now discuss the option for verified members that want to create their own applications to cover subject material that is not already included in existing applications. Returning to the StudentSpokes admin, I will now click on the My Applications button. I have not yet created any custom applications, so I will click Add New Application. The first thing I need to do is enter a name for my application. Do not add the phrase about prizes. Just enter a short descriptive word or two for its name. The next step is critical. You need to select the template that matches your information and how it will be tested. If your data is a one-to-one relationship like a state and capital, or a Spanish word for an English word, select either template A or B. The difference between template A and template B is whether you want to divide your information into chapters or just have one large group of information. If you have one large group, you will be learning and testing with all information. But if you divide your information into chapters, you can learn and test on each chapter, or a chapter range. Templates C and D are for information that is not one-to-one, like a state to a capital, or capital to a state, but rather, it is a multiple-choice question where the student must select the best choice. Again, the difference between templates C and D is if you want to break your information into chapters for more focused learning. Select your choice, leaving the active checkbox unchecked until you are ready to make your application live for your child, and click Submit. Here you can see how the difference in the kind of information you want your child to learn should determine the template type. In the first example on the upper left, I selected template A from the drop-down box, so I can enter a question and an answer. Your student can learn by selecting the answer to the question, or by selecting the question to the answer, as in states and capital cities, or vice versa. In the second example on the lower right, I selected template C where I have to create the question, followed by the correct answer and then up to 4 incorrect answers. This learning will only be one way. Question to the answer. If you only want to enter 3 incorrect answers, enter an asterisk in the 4th incorrect answer field to make it inactive. Also, if you want to use true or false answers, enter the correct word, either true or false in the correct answer field, and the other word in the wrong answer number 1 field. And then put asterisks in the other 3 wrong answer fields. That concludes our discussion of how a parent can provide an incredibly fun, yet very positive learning experience for their child.